Starting lineup, you get a look there. Maya Spencer also leading the team with 5.4 assists per game, along with Williams, Mathurin, and Schuhmacher. And for the Pitt Panthers, talk about the youth. You see it right there. All freshmen and sophomores in that starting five, and watch a couple of freshmen who've really played well so far in Callista Walters and Brenna Wise. Pitt looking to snap a 3-game losing streak. Stacia Carey does win the tip, so the Panthers will start things off with Asia Bug.
When you come on the road in conference play for NC State, one of the important things for them to do will be to rebound. And for Pitt, it's going to be about making shots early with a young team to keep some confidence playing inside league play.
Yassine Job does that right off the bat. First possession, a positive one for Pitt.
Job might be one of the most athletic players in the ACC. The vertical, the length, the quickness, she's got a little bit of everything.
See what the Wolfpack does on their first possession. They answer through Jennifer Mathurin.
For a Westmore team to shoot less than 38% from the floor is a little bit surprising, but they find a way to win because Westmore does such a great job putting his players in a position to succeed.
Job driving to the basket. She's got another one.
NC State doesn't want to foul, and particularly Wilson and Spencer. They cannot afford to get in foul trouble, and you could see Jop just taking advantage of that matchup early.
Spencer with the ball now, drives, finds Schuhmacher wide open in the paint.
What a beautiful in-out move by Maya Spencer. And all Schuhmacher did was get in her vision on a roll to the bucket.
Both teams perfect so far in the first couple of possessions.
And both teams playing some man. NC State likes to play a lot of man. See, there is Jop again. 3 for 3 to get this game started, and picks up a foul on Wilson. One of the theories is you want to attack the other team's best scorer on the defensive end, and that is what Susie McConnell-Ciro has done in the first 3 possessions of the game.
Job misses on the chance to make it a 3-point play, but a big rebound by Carey.
Both teams have started out in man-to-man. Both teams, I've seen Pitt only play man on film. NC State, about 10% of their defense, according to Synergy, is zone. You know I love some Synergy, Jen.
It's great. I'm just getting into that world, Debbie. It's a fantastic tool to get to see these teams and really break them down. Williams finds Schuhmacher, has it in her left hand. Mathurin loses it, so it'll be Pitt ball.
Well, and that was Jop playing up the line on an uphill pass, and that's why Mathurin turned it over, because Spencer wasn't open, and she thought she was. But there's the quickness and the length of Jop to get out in the passing lane.
There's the talented freshman, Brenna Wise, leading all ACC freshmen in rebounding. Local Pittsburgh player. Walters drives.
Now Walters is the freshman for Pitt that leads them in scoring, better at about 13 points a game.
Spencer.
There's only about 5 or 6 teams in the country that have a freshman that lead their team in scoring. Doesn't happen very often.
Steal by the Panthers as Bug pushes the tempo just a little bit, pulls up for her shot. (6-4) Pittsburgh advantage in the opening minutes of the first quarter. Schuhmacher fouled on her shot. Wolfpack started the game 2 of 2, since then had turned it over twice before that attempt by Schuhmacher. Get a look at Westmore and the Wolfpack so far this season. 2-1 conference after losing their conference opener. They came back and put up a couple of wins over Wake Forest and Georgia Tech. Shoot a lot of threes, don't they?
They do. They make about 8 a game. Good balance. Wilson and Spencer, Maya Spencer, both juniors, lead the team in scoring. Jennifer Maturin on the inside at 6'1", she's a junior. And this is Carlee Schuhmacher, one of the seniors on this team.
Chelsea Nelson is checked in for NC State, number 5, 6'2" sophomore.
One of the strengths of Pittsburgh's team is their interior game, with Stacia Carey there at the top of the key looking for that high-low pass. And NC State has a little more depth in the post.
I know that was a concern of Susie McConnell-Serio when we talked to her earlier today, just not having much depth as Bug pulls up for a long 2.
NC State jams and they go under on any ball screening action, and that is one of the things in practice the last couple of days that Susie McConnell-Serio and her staff worked on, and Bug executed it perfectly.
Wise has it. She'll take the shot, and it's good.
That's the kind of tempo that I think Susie McConnell-Serio would like her team to play with, and a little bit more of a sprint up the floor and not so much a slowdown game. They don't have a lot of size, but that's the strength of their team. And that might have been a little too quick for Coach Moore.
Speaking of quick, Job beats everybody to her spot, but a little too strong on the shot.
You can't let your poor shot selection turn into transition opportunities for Pitt.
You see Susie McConnell-Serio, her name well known really across the country in women's basketball, but certainly in this area. She grew up and went on to star.
I don't think you can go to a local high school in Pitt without finding a McConnell on the bench or playing. Whether it's a niece, a nephew, a brother, an in-law, someone here has a McConnell name that is coaching in high school in Pittsburgh.
McConnell-Serio, member of the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, 2-time Olympian. As NC State did well with their passing, but then just got into some trouble. Good defense by the Panthers.
That was a great job by Walters to hold that principle of verticality and not foul Nelson. And
Walters, the other end too.
Right back down the other end, Jen. A good defensive effort at the rim, a sprint to the other rim to get an easy 2 points off the glass.
So the Panthers have continued what has been a strong start. The Wolfpack, meanwhile, have struggled. Once again, they turn it over. That's a 3rd turnover since starting the game. 2 of 2 from the floor since they've gone 0 of 4 with 3 turnovers.
And NC State doesn't have a lot of margin for error in terms of number of possessions because they don't generate enough turnovers with their defense.
Asia Bug, her shots looked good in the early minutes of this game. 4 points for the sophomore. And a 14-5 lead for the Panthers. Spencer can't snap the drought for NC State, as the Panthers have gotten off to a great start here at home. Yassine Joth has led the way for this Pittsburgh team. She has 6 in the game as Pitt leads it 14-5.
Those were both threes, right? Let me see. I got the stat sheet.
Bugs, I think, was it? They're both 2.
Both 2s. Okay. Long 2s. No 3s for either team. Yep. Bunch of upsets. Pitt beat Notre Dame. Georgia Tech.
Pitt Panthers with a 14-5 lead over NC State here in the first quarter. They've shot 64%, Debbie. Seems they have done an excellent job of just reading that Wolfpack defense.
Well, that's the key, and for your point guard, you've got to read the screening action. NC State likes to jam and go under, and watch how Bug responds to this. Ashley Williams goes under, there's the jam of the screen. Bug steps right inside the three-point line, knocks it off, knocks it down. Then again, you're gonna see the screening action of Pitt in the on ball, and Bug knows that she's just gonna pull the trigger right behind the screen. She didn't take a dribble too much to get in a position where Williams could recover, and NC State now is going to zone off the timeout based on a good job by Asia Bug reading the D.
See how the Panthers do against the zone. Wise has shot a little short, but the offensive rebound to Walters and the Panthers. Ball goes out of bounds. Initially ruled NC State ball. Bug running the show, 4 points. Also has a couple of rebounds, 2 assists so far.
I think it's a good change by Wes Moore to come out with the zone off the timeout to give his team something different defensively and see if, you know, they can get in rhythm here. And Pitt's going to stay in their man. That's primarily what they play defensively.
NC State trying to break out of a drought of over 5 minutes now without a field goal. Kickball will stay in possession of the Wolfpack.
You know, it was really fun this morning is going through shoot around with both teams because Wes Moore and Susie McConnell-Serio are so good at picking apart the detail of the game, the counters that come with what they want to run and how they expect and what they anticipate that the other team will do defensively.
Amber Richardson, 6-foot freshman in the game, hits a 3.
Yeah, she's shooting 19% outside the arc, but now that they've been able to see the ball go through the net, they can get back defensively and get in the right rotations to start the possession defensively. Just a broken play, and Richardson available and ready to score. Shot ready is what we call that.
So 6 points the lead. Now NC State a chance to cut into that a little bit more with the steal.
And remember, NC State makes 8 threes a game. They like to shoot the 3. It's a big part of what they do, and they're always seeking shots outside the arc.
Richardson will try another one. Jop comes flying in for the rebound, but knocks it out of bounds. Nelson turns with her right hand up and over the front of the rim for her first points of the game.
Jen, of all the players that NC State has, I think Chelsea Nelson has a chance to really take her game significantly to another level. From a conditioning and a skill standpoint, she's improved so much from her freshman year. Expecting big things out of her.
I know you feel the same way about Brenna Wise, who made a cut and was rewarded for it for that basket.
Brenna Wise is in incredible physical shape. She has got a great IQ. She can shoot it. I watched her today go through her shot routine before the game, and she's a hard worker. You're right there, great job of rotating to help on the penetration.
Job will try to get herself to the basket. One official has a foul, the other one though saying it was a travel beforehand.
And that's the right call. I always prefer when the officials get the violation before the foul. Look at that nice high-low drop-down pass and a strong finish by Wise.
NC State, 5 points from its bench, 5 from its starters.
And see, Wes Moore calls the play, and Susie McConnell-Serio calls out what the actions are going to be. They even have what their calls are. That's how detailed these two coaches are.
Nelson with her left hand, strong finish.
So we've seen Chelsea Nelson over the left shoulder. We've seen her go over the right shoulder. See, all you young players, you got to be able to score with both hands around the rim.
4-point lead for the Panthers. Bug with the shot. That one rattled out. She was pretty hot off the start of this game. Mathurin has it blocked. Kawhi Bradley, the 6-foot freshman, got up for that one defensively. But a turnover on the other end gives NC State a chance to run. Under a minute to play in the first quarter as Spencer drives. And she's really the only one there to try to get a rebound.
One of the reasons why Pitt is one of the top shot blocking teams in the country. Stacia Carey altering that shot right there. Watch Nelson right here. Over the left shoulder, a little half hook. She's got some size against Wise. And then right here, the dribble move against the shot blocker. Over the left shoulder and then over the right. It's a terrific job by Nelson, who has worked on that part of her game.
Mathurin's three won't go, but the offensive rebound puts the ball back in the hands of Spencer. Now Williams. Nelson, three players around her. Ten on the shot clock for Spencer. 5 now for Mathurin. Nelson was calling for it. Kick though by the Panthers.
Really good defense, and they're playing man-to-man Pitt, but they're making sure they're showing extra numbers in the gap, and they're doing a really good job of guarding NC State's pick and roll game right now in their two-man game on the wing.
That kick reset the shot clock to 15 seconds for NC State. It had gotten down to 3. So it's just about even with the game clock.
Ashley Williams handling for NC State. Great story from walk-on to scholarship athlete
to starter. As Spencer drains it right before the buzzer at the end of the first quarter to pull NC State within 1. Maya Spencer's first points of the game are big ones. She knocks down the 3, and NC State, which had trailed in this first quarter, all of a sudden pulls to within 1 as we head to quarter 2 in Pittsburgh. The Pitt Panthers leading NC State 16-15 in ACC women's hoops today. We welcome those of you just joining us who saw the Clemson men upset 16th ranked Louisville. Big win for the Tigers. We've got a good one going on here along with Debbie Antonelli. I'm Jen Hildreth, and you see both teams really got off to a hot start offensively, and NC State get a lot of second chance points.
Well, NC State, that's how they were able to get back in this game right here. It was 14-6 at the last time out. Wes Moore switched to a zone. His team did a better job of reversing the basketball, and they got points in the paint off their offensive rebounding. That's Chelsea Nelson doing her job inside. Number 5 in black for NC State.
There's Nelson with the ball, spins toward the basket, but runs into a pair of Pitt defenders. Gonna be a foul against Nelson. Her second.
I would say that was a late whistle. They like to say patient whistle, but she already had the ball on the offensive rebound. So now, I mean, Coach Moore ran that set off the timeout for the dive to the basket for Nelson,
who's now had to go to the bench with that second foul. Job has her pass taken away. The Panthers have turned it over 4 of their last 6 possessions. NC State with a chance to take the lead. Williams will take the 3.
I would say that would be a contested 3 and not typically a 3 that Coach Moore would like to see, especially with a right-handed shooter dribbling left off that screen at the top.
Dee Rogers, 6'1" freshman, loses the handle a little bit, but manages to not turn the ball over. 8 on the shot clock. Spencer has her pass tipped away. Brenna Wise, talented freshman from Pittsburgh, takes it to the basket. Offensive rebound won't go. Spencer will drive it on the other end, and she does convert. Wolfpack in the lead.
Maya Spencer in the open floor is talented, and we saw last year in her sophomore campaign her really grow her game to a new level, and she's continuing this year. Her skill set is so complete, and she has a great motor to work on her game.
Kawhi Bradley will drive to the basket, has her shot blocked by Carlee Schuhmacher. Rogers was running the floor, kicks it back out to Spencer. Better three that time by NC State?
Good, because they push all the way to the baseline. You throw it down to the block, you flatten out the defense, you kick it back out for a three. A good look.
Meanwhile, the Panthers really need to re-establish their groove offensively.
Well, and Jopwe has gone quiet since going 3 for 3 to start the game. Part of that is NC State's zone.
Wise with the three. Offensive rebound to Stacia Carey is good on the putback.
I think Stacia Carey 7 times in double figures this year and averaging 9 rebounds in league play. You look at her numbers and you go, they've dropped a little bit, but she's doing more things across the board and her efficiency is better.
Beautiful drive and dish by Spencer.
Well, there's 2 pieces there. One is you got to stop dribble penetration. Maya Spencer 3 times has been able to attack from the top in that little dump down pass. You got to keep her from getting inside.
Spencer has 5.4 assists per game this season. And she gets fouled that time.
And when you have Dominique Wilson, who can take a break from having to do all the scoring, that's okay, because you got Maya Spencer. She is so good in transition, attacking the big, and then watch how she plays in that flat sprint screen. Does a great job of attacking in the middle and just dropping off that pass. You draw the help, and she knows where to pass it.
Spencer with 5 points in the game. She averages 12.3, second on the team. NC State has a large roster. They're not afraid to use a lot of players. Several bench players in the game now for the Wolfpack. There's Wilson, finds Schuhmacher. Her shot is good, 7 points.
Jen, they like to run that 4 out, 1 in, and Schuhmacher in, and she just does a nice job of playing off of Dominique Wilson's dribble penetration.
Wise passes to Walters. Walters doesn't give up on it. It'll stay Pitt ball. What does Pittsburgh need to do to figure out this NC State zone?
Well, they've got to get the ball inside out. That will help them to work inside the zone and then back out. And I think they have to have the right people taking shots. You know, I think they've had a couple of players that have come in and got to get a little sweat going before you start jacking up shots.
Cassidy Walsh took the last shot, also committed her 2nd foul of the game, so she'll return to the bench. 5'7" freshman. Large freshman class for both of these teams. 7 for NC State, 6 for Pittsburgh. We talked about how much the Panthers especially rely upon their youth. Freshmen and sophomores, 90% of the scoring this season for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's a lot of offense coming from some young players that really don't know what they don't know yet.
Wilson couldn't really get much on that shot, had it blocked. In the corner for Pitt, that shot is a little too strong by Tanaya Lamb. Talked about how young this Pittsburgh team is, Debbie. There you see the freshmen, sophomores, no seniors on this roster.
Yeah, and that's great when you have the teaching ability of Susie McConnell-Serio and her staff, including her sister, Kathy McConnell-Miller, who's been a head coach before at the University of Colorado and at Tulsa. So you've got a great staff over there, and they really break it down. You know, McConnell's, they've got coaches, they've got officials. TJ McConnell's playing on the Sixers roster. That's their nephew. They've got people all across the game, and when they all get together, there's like 40 of them now. Nieces, nephews, the McConnell family, very, very well known in this area. And of course, Susie McConnell-Serio, former Olympian, is very well known in basketball, one of the best point guards in our game.
Instead of flag football at a family gathering, they need to just have a pickup basketball tournament as Williams leads the break for NC State and makes the basket.
See, the guards make everything go for the Wolfpack, and Ashley Williams, we mentioned that she went from walk-on to scholarship to now starter, has done a terrific job of working her way into a position where she could be an asset to her team and her teammates.
Williams helping the Wolfpack go on a 15-2 run here over the last 7 minutes. And once again, the Panthers coming up empty on the offensive end.
They've really lost the rhythm to their offense. And sometimes, you know, you try to get back in rhythm by playing a little harder on the defensive end. When you have young players and they think they're playing hard, but maybe they could give a little more.
And NC State has done well when they've taken the ball away and taken it the other way. Ashley Williams and the Wolfpack out in front.
ACC College Hoops is brought to you by the official corporate champions of the ACC, Geico, Toyota, and New York Life.
The NC State Wolfpack trail by as many as 9 in the first quarter here in Pittsburgh, but they've come on strong, going 4 of 9 in the second quarter, while the Pitt Panthers have just gone cold, 1 of 10. You see Wes Moore, head coach of the Wolfpack in his 3rd season. Of course, he was a longtime coach at UTC, won 12 Southern Conference regular season titles. Just brings a wealth of experience to Raleigh.
He's terrific. He's an X&O guy, and he eats tape. And when your peers give you compliments like this, because Katie Meyer has always said, if you let Wes Moore become the point guard on the floor during the games, you're going to have a hard time challenging that IQ, because he has the ability, because of his work ethic, to put his team in a position to always be successful. You can never count out NC State, and when you're a coach in this league going against them, and you give those kind of compliments, that's respectful. It's very respectful.
A couple scores from around the league today. All 15 teams in action. Notre Dame, wow, 80-47 over North Carolina. Louisville up big over 18th ranked Duke.
No surprises there, really. And honestly, you know, I took Duke out of the AP poll last week. I think they're really struggling, and I think they're having a hard time scoring. However, they have Azurá Stevens at 6'6", who is 2nd in the league in scoring and leads the league in rebounding, leads the league in block shots. She's really good, and she could be a contender for Player of the Year.
3 teams remain unbeaten in conference play so far in ACC women's basketball. Notre Dame, Louisville, North Carolina. Pitt, one of 5 teams looking to pick up its first conference win, as Dominique Wilson, who's been pretty quiet for the Wolfpack so far, is fouled.
That's an example of what Dominique Wilson can do. Explosive first step, strong, good finisher around the rim, knows how to get to the free throw line.
She hits the first, and we'll remind you that next week on ACC All Access, a Florida State star is chasing a basketball legend, but this isn't just another run in history. Find out what makes this quest so special for Seminole sophomore Xavier Rattan-Mays. That's this week on ACC All Access. Be sure to check your local listings for airtime.
With all that young talent around Xavier Rattan-Mays, he has really added a dimension to his game. He's doing a great job of distributing and getting everyone involved. Last year he had to score a lot of points for that team. This year he can still score, but he's becoming a more complete guard.
Meanwhile, the Wolfpack have opened up now a 9-point lead. They're on a 19-2 run, and Pitt just turned it over.
And let me say this about that Louisville team too, Jen, because they winning today will be 9 in a row, and they started out the season 1-4. You start talking about coaches in this league that can X and O. You got 2 right here in this game. You got Katie Meyer and Miami, we already mentioned, and of course Muffet McGraw. You said, you know, they're going to win today, and that's going to be win number 8 in a row for them. They're seeking their 6th Final Four. That's some coaching right there. That's a good list of coaches that can X and O and put their teams in a great position to succeed.
Carlee Schuhmacher on the free throw line again. She's 3 of 4 so far today from the line. Take a look at the ACC standings coming into today. You see those 3 teams at the top I mentioned, unbeaten in conference play: Notre Dame, Louisville, North Carolina.
And Sylvia Hatchell basically plays 7 players, so they had won 6 in a row leading into that game. So you see the hot teams right now, Notre Dame and Louisville across the ACC. No surprise there. I picked them to finish 1 and 2 in league play, so they're not surprised to me.
Brittany Gordon in the game for the Panthers, number 25. Jop had such a strong start, but has been quiet since. Wise can't get her shot to go.
I think that's a good look, a good set for them to run, good execution. They spent a lot of time on out-of-bounds plays today at shoot-around.
Fred Potvin just came off the bench, takes the 3 and hits it.
Doesn't even have a sweat. Steps in on an out-of-bounds play on an offensive possession and drills the triple. And if anybody needed to hit a 3, it was her.
Well, and if anybody needed a basket, it was Pittsburgh. The Panthers had missed 7 straight, so they knocked down their first 3 of the game. As Spencer drives, and once again hitting the boards is Schuhmacher.
Schuhmacher is big and wide and strong, not tall, but strong and knows how to play around the rim.
Schuhmacher just 6'1", but playing big. Now defending Wise. Wise drives to the other side of the basket. Wasn't quite ready maybe to get that ball back.
It wasn't a good pass.
That too.
And watch Fred Potvin right here, wide open. Has been struggling outside the arc. Now that ought to be a play that gives her some confidence.
Potvin averaging 14 minutes per game, junior from Montreal, Quebec.
I mean, she's a 3-point shooter, Jen. She's made 9 threes on the season and 3 twos. So when she comes in the game, you have to know she's going to shoot threes.
Brenna Wise really got the worst of that drive from Jennifer Mathurin, who picks up her 2nd foul. Offensive foul against Mathurin. Watch the middle of your screen there. That's Wise boxing out. Got hit hard by Mathurin, right in the chest.
I wonder if she got the wind knocked out of her. Watch this right here. That's a hard hit, and then she gets it from the backside, too. Hey, that's a tough kid right there, Brenna Wise. So if she's down, she must be hurting.
Brenna Wise had a double-double in her first ever game in a Pitt uniform. 11 points, 12 rebounds against Wagner, and picked up another one against Duquesne. And they're going to take her to the locker room to check her out. Although it looks like she tried to hold things up. Well, hopefully she'll be fine.
We had a nice conversation with Wise today. She said, I hate losing more than I enjoy winning. That's the kind of competitor that she is.
I know that feeling.
Yes, I do too.
Wish it wasn't the case, but
it's a strength and a weakness.
That's right, that's right. Well, just over a minute to play here in the first half. NC State with the lead. Pitt with a very strong start, but the Panthers needing to figure out how to break down this NC State defense. Get the offensive rebound. Potvin looking for a 2nd 3. That's it.
On fire. Fred, where you been? Your teammates have needed you.
Potvin was 8 of 36 from 3 coming into this game. And as you said, that's her specialty. She needs to see a couple of those go down. 2 big ones for the Panthers here to pull them within 6. Schuhmacher has a dozen points in the game and is fouled on her way to the basket. Fred Potvin has been the offensive spark here these last few minutes.
Fred hasn't scored in the last 3 games. As a matter of fact, she's only had 6 points in the last 5 games. Back-to-back triples for her team.
Schuhmacher trying to give NC State a chance to extend this lead as they head to the break.
When you watch a player like Fred Potvin knock down to 3 with her feet are set and her body is square, you wonder how a player like that can shoot it that well actually gets in a slump. That just proves that it's mental, because I know for a fact, after asking the coaches, she has been in the gym getting a lot of shots up.
Schuhmacher 0 for 2 in those last free throw attempts, and Susie McConnell-Serio wants to take a timeout, talk things over here. Schuhmacher has been big so far, Debbie, for NC State. Big presence in the paint.
Coach Wes Moore said she put a lot of time in the offseason working on her shot, and you can see right here, she's getting the ball in a position where she can score. She struggled outside the arc early part of the season, but she's got a great 15-foot jump shot. She's got a good mid-range, and she's got guards that know how to make the entry pass to the block.
Schuhmacher in her second year at NC State after transferring from Des Moines Area Community College, where she was a junior college All-American. Averaged about 8 points, just under 5 rebounds a game for the Wolfpack last year. Scoring's gone down a little bit.
NC State has played 3 conference games, and she's scored 6 points in a total of 3 games coming into this one. So she's having a great afternoon for NC State.
See what the Panthers opt to do here. A couple of seconds difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Jop takes the shot at the buzzer, comes up short. And there is the buzzer that will end quarter number 2. Debbie, NC State might have started a little slow, but they found a way to pick things up. A team that started 7 of 11, shot 64% early in this game, and then just kind of seemed to go cold. What do they need to find here as they start the second half?
Well, I think NC State zone had something to do with that, because I know Pitt was expecting NC State to play about 90% man. So I'm sure Coach McConnell-Serio made some adjustments against the zone and looked to get the ball inside and out, make some ball reversals, try to attack from the interior. And you got to get Stacia Carey going. She's one of your better scorers. She only has 3 shots. She has 4 rebounds. She's got to come ready to be aggressive in the second half, because Carey is one of the top shot blockers, and she has 2 fouls, so she has to be careful.
Job had 6 early for Pitt. Potvin came up with a couple of 3s late, and you saw Carlee Schuhmacher leading the way with 12 points in the game for NC State. Panthers traditionally under Susie McConnell-Serio have been tough to beat here on their home floor, but they've lost their last 2 at home at the Peterson Event Center.
Run a little flex off the half, which is a set we did not see in the first half.
Brenna Wise, great to see her back out on the floor after a tough collision. She went down, went to the locker room late in the second quarter. She got that offensive rebound. Walters, the leading scorer for the Panthers, picks up a bucket there.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Go inside, work your offense inside out. NC State's not bringing the double team. They're playing straight up. So use your post moves that you've been working on and score.
Wilson passes out to Matern. She'll drive, switch it to her right hand, gets her own rebound, and then is fouled on her second chance attempt. Stacia Carey picks up the foul. That's her 3rd.
Yeah, now Coach McConnell-Serio has to make a decision, and now you're a team that's not with a lot of depth inside, and your post rotation will change with Carey with 3 fouls.
And in talking to some of the Pitt players earlier today, they felt like one of their best games of the season was when they played 3rd-ranked Notre Dame January 3rd. They wound up losing by 10, but they were tied heading in the 4th quarter, and they told me they felt like one of the big differences in that game was when Carey went out with foul trouble, and that's when Brianna Turner really turned it on for Notre Dame.
Well, and what happens here on the other side of it is Brenna Wise, the freshman, goes to the 4 position, so she's got a little stretchability about her game, a little more range than Carey. Let's see if Pitt takes advantage of that matchup with Jennifer Mathurin. Here she is right there. She just couldn't handle the pass.
And it goes off Wise, so it'll be NC State basketball. Brenna Wise, one of the most impressive freshmen so far for the Panthers. Leads the league freshman in rebounding with 7 a game, and great passing finds Matern wide open inside for NC State.
What a great screen by Dominique Wilson. I wish we kept that stat, screen assist.
And she's done a couple things off the ball, hasn't
Yeah,
she? She doesn't have many points, but
she's really good, and she impacts the game with and brings extra value because she can do so many things offensively.
Walters has the first 4 points of the third quarter for Pittsburgh after she had just 2 in the first half. Lead back to 6 for NC State. Wilson will put up the 3. Dominique Wilson just 2 points in the game, both of those free throws. Wise was calling for it, tried to make the pass to Walters. Pitt will get the ball into the basket.
Good hustle by Thurin to get down the floor and break that up to allow NC State to set their D.
Potvin in the game here early in this second half after she hit those big threes to help Pitt get out of a rather lengthy scoring drought in the second quarter. That ball kicked by Ashley Williams.
So again, the clock reset to 15.
Job to inbound again. Finds Walters. Job now finds Walters. What a pass!
What a great job to probe the paint. Good leave.
Once again, Pitt starting strong. They started the first quarter 3 of 3. They're now 3 of 4 here in quarter number 3. 4-point the lead for NC State. Schuhmacher calling for it and has that pass taken away. Jop all over it.
You got to have a ball fake there. Schuhmacher was open.
Jop got in a little trouble. Got it to Walters. And then they're going to call that foul on Pittsburgh and Walters. And if that's her third, Debbie.
Jen, it's not just points and rebounds. It's screens and the ability to pass the ball. Watch this screen right here. Great feed, good screen. And then Pitt returns the other end. And look at Jop do a great job of probing, getting the switch, getting a big on her, and then dropping it off inside to the post.
The Panthers really in a precarious situation now with Walters and Stacia Carey with 3 fouls in the game. Good defense by Wise. Bug pushing the tempo, broken up by Wilson. And saying it last one off Pittsburgh. th turnover of the game for the Panthers. Wilson just 2 free throws in the game. Leading scorer for the Wolfpack drives to the basket for her first field goal.
Back-to-back, same set for Westmore. The first set for Wilson, she had an open wide open 15-footer. This time, she gets the switch on the big. That is a good set. I'm writing that one down for my 8th grade boys team.
You gotta steal the good plays, you know?
You gotta, it's called research. Watch right here, Schuhmacher working inside. She's open, okay? And watch the way Wilson gets the switch because now she's got a big on her. And you turn your body, Walters, and you allow Wilson a lane.
Yeah, she knows 3 fouls too, Walters.
Well, here's the thing. The scout report says make her go left. Well, you can't make her go left in the middle of the floor. In the middle of the floor, you got to keep her from going to the middle.
Potvin trying to hit her 3rd 3 of the game. Spencer, she drives, finds Schuhmacher, who is fouled before the shot attempt.
The guards for NC State can really play. And we talked about Dominique Wilson and how she's under the radar. Maya Spencer led the team in scoring last year, but she has done a nice job of distributing today. She leads the league in assists.
5.4 a game for Maya Spencer. And to your point of this scoring side of things, 8 straight games in double figures. That's a big bucket for Job. See if the Panthers can get her going again. Drive to the basket by Wilson. She may be starting to fire up.
Explosive, quick first step. What a great move.
Couple of nice drives on both ends of the floor. Dominique Wilson has the last couple of baskets for State.
NC State with a 6-point lead in the third quarter, and we've talked about Dominique Wilson's ability to use the screen. Watch how here she rejects the screen and goes the opposite way. Because of the way Pitt had been defending the screen, Dominique Wilson just makes a great read right here. She didn't score a basket in the first half. She's got 2 baskets here early in the third quarter because Wes Moore knows his leading scorer can score in a variety of ways to help his team.
Coming off career-high 25 points in NC State's last game, a win over Georgia Tech. Was 9 of 9 from the free throw line in that game. Also had 7 rebounds, career-high 5 steals. Do it all type of player.
When you have shooters on the weak side in Spencer and Williams, and then you clear out a side with an on-ball screen for Wilson, that is really tough for anybody in the ACC to guard.
Job was looking for it on the interior. Wise has it now. Job to Wise. Off the glass, a little too strong. Job, nice interior pass that Bug just couldn't finish off, but the possession continues for the Panthers. Shot clock did not reset. That time it's taken away by the Wolfpack.
Susie McConnell-Serio was talking today about all the staff that she has that are all point guards. Her sister Kathy was a point guard. Lindsay Richards was a point guard at Iowa. And her team can't seem to make the entry pass to the post. It would drive any coach crazy, but a point guard like Susie McConnell-Serio, that would really make you nuts.
Yep, and you know she's doing a lot of teaching anyway with the amount of youth on this Pittsburgh team. That ball off the fingertips of the Wolfpack. We talked earlier about Susie McConnell-Serio and just kind of what a rock star she really is here in the Pittsburgh area. Had just a tremendous career at Penn State, but grew up around here. And Brenna Wise, talented freshman from Pittsburgh, you asked her, did you come here for Susie McConnell-Serio? And she said it was a big part of her decision, right?
Of course. I mean, you grew up in this area, you know about the legacy of what Susie has done and what her family has done in this area. I mean, Susie's 5'4". And she has 7 triple-doubles in college. She has the NCAA record for the number of triple-doubles. It's incredible. There's a guy named John Dixon out there that's probably watching that was the stat guy at Penn State, and I always ask her if he got his Christmas card every year.
Always good to make friends with the stat guy.
You got to be friends with the stat guy. Yes, I tease her, but boy, she could play. She really was a great dynamic point guard, played on 2 Olympic teams.
Wilson at it again. Too strong on that drive to the basket. Bug out in front for the Panthers. Goes with her right hand. Potvin for 3. Hits it.
Fred, you go ahead and shoot till your arm falls off. 3 triples for Fred Potvin.
9 points in the game. All from 3, as you mentioned, for Potvin. There's now 3 of 4 from distance. 3-point game. Wilson takes the outside shot and answers.
The answer is right. I got a sense this game is just starting to get good.
Carey back in the game with 3 fouls for Pittsburgh.
You got to know where number 14 is. Over here on the weak side, you got to shadow her a little bit.
Wise against Schuhmacher. Wilson came over to help. 3 on the shot clock for Carey. Now she takes the shot. Did get it off in time, and it's good.
It counts. I thought she got it off too. Offense starting to pick up a little bit for both teams.
Stacia Carey with her first points of the second half, 4 in the game. Spencer with the drive, heavily contested, and she's fouled by Bug.
Now, Maya Spencer has had her way in the middle of the floor all game. Pitt has really struggled to keep her in front.
Meanwhile, on the other end, Fred Potvin just keeping the Panthers in this thing.
Well, watch, this is just great. Keep the ball alive, kick it out to the three-point shooter. 3 uncontested wide open triples. Remember, we talked about Fred in the last 5 games had only scored 6 points, didn't score in the last 3. She's got 9, all behind the arc today.
And Pittsburgh, not a team that has been able to rely on the 3-ball at all this season, as Susie McConnell-Serio quite frankly told us at shoot-around today. They rank second to last in the league, making just over 4 threes a game. Got an NC State player down at the other end as play continues. Looks like that's Chelsea Nelson. Go back to the free throw from a moment ago, maybe when she went down. Not quite sure what happened. Nelson, 6'2" sophomore forward from Antioch, Tennessee. Give you the best look we have of when Nelson went down.
Now watch, she's on the lower left part of your screen on the free throw line. She performs to what you call the swim move, trying to get in position for an offensive rebound, and then she goes down and it looks like clutching her knee. And boy, Chelsea Nelson has had a really tough season this year so far. And the unexpected loss of her mother, very sad for the whole Wolfpack family. And Chelsea continues to work through it every day, but it was just a short time ago, just a few weeks ago, right before the holidays.
Heart certainly goes out to her, and you know her team, and getting a chance to be out there with her teammates, a huge part of probably what's helping her as Wilson connects.
Well, NC State guards are really good. Spencer and Wilson are just owning the middle of the floor right now. They can do and get wherever they want.
Wilson has the last 9 points for the Wolfpack. Carey cannot get the friendly roll. Lead back to 8 for NC State. Pull-up shot from Mathurin. Big rebound by Rogers. It's Dee Rogers, number 21. Older sister Rodrika plays at Georgia Tech.
There's about a 2-second differential here on the clock, so NC State's going to work it down to the last shot.
Well, we saw Maya Spencer hit a buzzer beater, if you will, at the end of the first quarter. Well executed that time by the Wolfpack. Wilson has had the hot hand, this time turns it over. So we'll see how the Panthers, this young Pittsburgh team, handles this opportunity.
Well, see here, Coach McConnell-Serio counters by getting Jop back in the game with 6.7 for an offensive possession right here.
Bug has it, will take it all the way herself. 0.7 of a second, it's blocked out of bounds by NC State, so Pitt will get it.
Get time for a tap, look for the lob. Throw it to Jop. She's got incredible athleticism. There it is.
And they do. She tries to tap it, but cannot get a good handle on it. So Pittsburgh cannot get a bucket at the end of quarter number 3. We're going to head to the fourth quarter in Pittsburgh. NC State leading it 45-37. It's been a good one so far here at the Peterson Event Center in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh got it within 3 in the third quarter, but the lead back up to 8 for NC State. It's 45-37 as we head to quarter number 4 here in Pittsburgh. The Wolfpack looking to pick up its 3rd straight conference win. They're 2-1 in the ACC right now. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh 0-2 so far in conference play.
Let's see if Jop can have an impact on Wilson. See right here, she's on the assignment defensively.
Now Wilson gets past her. Doesn't get the finish. Jop had the rebound. Now she does get it for Pittsburgh. Bug looks inside to Walters. Callista Walters had been on the bench with 3 fouls, but the freshman and leading scorer for the Panthers can't get that one to go. Carey turns to her right, too strong.
Wow, you got to finish those. I mean, you can't catch it any better or deeper than that, or cleaner.
Everything but the finish that time for the Panthers. Schuhmacher had 12 points in the first half, none in the second half. Now she's got her first bucket since halftime.
She just muscled that one in.
14 points for Schuhmacher.
NC State's got good spacing, good rhythm right now and what they're doing offensively.
Walters to Carey that time. She does it right.
Yeah, I think that's where Pitt needs to go right now. They started the second half going inside, trying to establish their baseline. I think they need to go back inside. Just like that, the last 2 possessions, they had 2 great looks and one they converted on.
Pitt started the second half 4 of 7 from the floor, went 2 of 9 after that. Asia Bug running the point. Potts been getting more playing time after she's been the best outside threat for the Panthers. Walters with the turn, her left hand is good.
Yeah, wear it out right now if you're Pitt. Go right to the inside. They've scored back-to-back.
Walters, one of the top field goal percentages in the ACC. She was shooting 57% from the floor coming into this game, not ranked 4th in the league. Spencer, nice.
I love that play. That's what I call America's play, and that's the first time NC State has been able to really score on it effectively.
Walters, her shot blocked out of bounds.
It's all about Schuhmacher's screening ability right here. Now watch, she's going to come out here. It's a screen and a rescreen is what happens. So Dominique drives hard baseline, and then Schuhmacher rescreens for Maya Spencer coming off that to be able to either shoot the 3 or attack.
Carey gets it at the high post, loses it. Wilson loses the handle herself, but it is last touched by Pittsburgh. Brenna Wise, freshman who has led Pittsburgh in its first ACC games, 14 points per game in the first 2 conference games to lead the Panthers. She averages 9.8 on the season.
See, look, this is what Katie Meyer, the Miami coach, calls Wes Moore becoming the point guard. And he's just down there directing everything. He's telling his team where to go, what shots he wants, who he wants taking the shots, where he wants them coming from.
Nelson just rips the rebound out of the hands of Wise, who makes sure she's going to get it that time.
Well, it's good to see Chelsea Nelson back on the floor.
Saw her crumble with after a free throw as Wise converts.
So to start the 4th quarter, Pitt has not taken a shot outside the paint. Their last 4 possessions have all been inside. That's where they've scored.
And here Wes Moore calling out his instructions on the sideline, just like you talked about. 10 on the shot clock for the Wolfpack. Jop gets a hand on the ball. Shot by Williams. And Nelson with the rebound.
I mentioned in the first half what I think about Chelsea Nelson. I think she's going to be terrific. I think she is really starting to understand what it takes to be competitive at this level and to be successful doing it.
Wilson has really come on strong in the second half. 9 points in the second half for Dominique, who takes this shot. Big rebound by Mathurin.
The switch allowed Mathurin to be inside against a guard, and it allowed Wilson to be able to drive Brenna Wise back into the paint so she could get a wide open look, and that allowed Mathurin to get the rebound.
Mathurin now 8 points, 10 rebounds in the game. Last put back, a big one for NC State as the Wolfpack continue to lead. We've got a 3-point game in Pittsburgh, and that is the matriarch of the McConnell family, if you will. Susie McConnell's mother on hand here, getting to see both of her daughters coaching over there on the sideline. And Debbie, they're coaching them up. Now Pittsburgh coming right back in this thing.
Do you think that Mom has had any discussion around the kitchen table about different scenarios like this that we're going to see right here?
Yes.
I'm sure, you know, she knows something about the game because she has every member of her family in the game in some aspect. The McConnell sisters are doing a great job over on the sideline, coaching Pitt right back into this one. Susie, the head coach, Kathy, the assistant. And they're actually a lot of fun to be around and talk the game with.
Weren't you talking to Kathy's son earlier today and asking how many people they had around the table around the holidays?
They get 40, and Mom doesn't cook anymore. They cater.
How about that? That is just a huge three from Dominique Wilson to open that lead back up again for NC State.
Yeah, that's who you want taking shots, and for NC State, that's who wants to take the shots, Wilson and Spencer. And now NC State can get back in a zone off that made basket.
Carey. Bug looks to Job. Switches it over to Potvin, who thought about it for a moment. Potvin with 3 trays in the game. Bug takes the shot and hits.
That's a great pass on a diagonal, a little skip to the elbow. And NC State switches to the zone because they've been getting worn out by the interior game of Pitt. And I think they can double easier out of the zone than they can out of their man-to-man. If they want to double the low block like they did the last time Carey touched it.
Williams finds a lane to the basket. Thought she had a lane, but Potvin snuck in there at the last moment to break up her approach.
Fred has knocked down a couple of triples, as a matter of fact 3, so you got to close out long. And she does a nice job of finding an open Bug to knock down the 15-footer.
NC State with a 4-point lead, and Wes Moore's called a timeout to talk things over. We'll be back in a minute. Ready to get back to action here in Pittsburgh as NC State off the inbounds. Carlee Schuhmacher just lost it out of bounds, turns it right over.
Wow, Coach Moore says it right there.
That's an unfortunate place to turn the ball over right in front of your head coach.
You don't make eye contact when you do it.
Brenna Wise passes back to Jop. Potvin and Dominique Wilson snags it away, drives the other end, has it blocked by Wise. Pitt basketball.
What an incredible defensive play by Brenna Wise. It's a poor cross-court pass, and Wilson cheating from the back part of that zone. I think she got a piece of that. Of course, the NC State coaching staff thought she was fouled.
Pittsburgh trailing by 4. 2:20 on the clock as Carey passes it out to Wise in the corner. That's a 3. Brenna Wise has pulled the Panthers to within 1. And Wes Moore wants another timeout. The Panthers just keep clawing back into this game, and we've got a 1-point ball game after the freshman. Brenna Wise lines it up, knocks it down from 3. All right, Debbie, this one's shaping up for a great finish in Pittsburgh. 1-point game. NC State has struggled, only 2 of their last 10 from the floor. Pittsburgh has found its shooting hand. Mathurin with Job on the floor affecting that shot.
Good job switching on everything, Susie McConnell-Serio's team. NC State back in their man after they showed a few possessions of zone. I think they'd go right inside, right here to Carey, if they can get her on the low block.
Minute 30 in the game. Pitt trailing by 1. Bug has it tapped away for a moment. 5 on the shot clock. She has to hurry. Potvin does get the shot. No, she doesn't. Does not get the shot off on time, and that has got to be infuriating for that woman right there.
What a great defensive stand by NC State. They countered defensively with everything. They were all with high hands, and they were in a stance.
Pittsburgh had made its previous 5 field goal attempts prior to that. Wilson has just about half of NC State's points in the second half. She passes it off to Schuhmacher, who was the leader in the first half.
Great job by Jop to not allow Wilson a good look, and now a timeout by Coach McConnell-Serio.
Really some excellent defense on both ends of the floor, wasn't it, these last couple of possessions? Saw NC State get the shot clock violation on Pittsburgh, but the Panthers have fought their way back into this one.
I think they've done a great job of scoring in the fourth quarter in the paint, except for the three that Wise hit. Everything has been at the rim, going towards the basket, putting pressure on NC State's defense. There's a great drive, a draw. In the NBA, Jen, they don't help off the strong side corner. In college basketball, they do. That's why Wise was wide open on that penetration. Her defender helped.
Brenna Wise was 7 of 30 from three-point range coming into today. Not a shot that she relies upon often, but that one was just huge for her team. She has 9 points, 11 rebounds in the game. Reminder that coming up next, number 19, Florida State hosts Georgia Tech, and the ACC's leading scorer, Aaliyah Whiteside. That's at 4 o'clock after our game here in Pittsburgh. Tom Wormy, LaChina Robinson will have the call.
This has been fun. This has been terrific. I mean, it's a low scoring, but it's been an efficient possession for possession game.
Perhaps a couple of possessions left. We'll see how this final 49 seconds unfolds. Panthers looking for their first conference win after losing at Miami and against third-ranked Notre Dame. NC State comes in hot, having won its last two over Wake Forest and Georgia Tech, both of those at home. Wolfpack have had a few more struggles on the road this season. Bug to Wise, who had that last big basket. A lot of contact. Call goes against Brenna Wise.
Yeah, that's the right call. Watch this right here. They run a good spacing. They get a good job on. Maturin does a great job of defending. Coach McConnell-Serio is not going to foul here because she's going to make sure NC State, you're going to get a stop. There's about 6-second differential.
Nia Spencer, the junior captain for the Wolfpack, taking her time, watching that clock now, starting her move to the basket and fouled by Carey.
I don't think that's the foul that you wanted to commit. Now watch Carey. Plus, she's hedging off this ball screen, but she reaches with the wrong hand anyway. If you're going to try to get that tap, you got to reach with the other hand. Now you have to foul, because the shot clock is off.
Immediately Bug does do that. That's the 5th team foul for Pittsburgh, so NC State now in the bonus. And in the new rules this year in NCAA women's basketball, there'll be 2 free throws.
And this is a rule I don't like in our game, because I want the 1-and-1 here to have some pressure on the shooter. And Coach McConnell-Serio, you know, you sort of roll the dice. You think you can get a stop there. You knew you had one team foul to give. You didn't want to commit that foul like that, but then you have to foul here. Now, you have enough time. Depending on what happens here, you have a chance to call a timeout and advance the ball, so you get the ball right at the hash, right in front of your bench.
Another rule change. That one does not go in. Wise gets it, calls the timeout.
See, there's the IQ of the young freshman. Secure the ball, don't advance it, call timeout. And it's a 2-point game. One of the ACC's best free throw shooters on the line and misses.
So 2-point NC State lead. Maya Spencer made one free throw, missed the second. The freshman Brenna Wise grabbed the rebound.
The NC State is saying she dribbled to gain possession, which would count as, you know, not meaning that you had tried to advance the ball.
And that's key in terms of that rule that would allow you to inbound the ball further up the floor, whether or not you advanced it.
But the officials have the ball at the hash, so I know they did get the advancement. And NC State calls another timeout on top of that to discuss their defense. And watch this, you got one of the best free throw shooters in the ACC on the line. She misses the second. See, the ball's loose. She grabs it and calls timeout. She did not try to advance the ball. That's the right call. Smart.
So you don't like the automatic 2 free throws. Do you like this one, though? This rule that
I love this rule. I love this rule because now you don't have to go the full length of the floor. And in women's basketball, you've got more options because you can't advance the ball as quickly as the guys can. So here you get a chance to inbound it at the hash mark. And Pitt's going to run something, attacking the rim, going to the basket. You don't want to settle for something, a fadeaway or a jump shot. You just need 2. And then NC State has a chance to call timeout to advance the ball.
And this rule only in effect in the final minute of the game.
So Jen, here's what you got to be careful of. It's not necessarily the first shot, it's the offensive rebound. So you got to crash the glass hard, both teams. And Carey has had a chance to score inside, and so has Wise. NC State's going to be in their man-to-man.
Bug with the ball. Pitt trailing by 2. 4 on the clock. Potvin. Her shot. Air balls. Carey was fouled. She got the rebound and was fouled.
But 2 officials had whistles on it. 2 officials had their hands in the air. That's the offensive rebound that I was talking about. Now the question is, will there be any time on the clock? Because she's going to shoot 2 free throws here. And watch right here. Watch Carey come from the weak side. A great crash to the glass. And they say 2 officials had whistles on it. That's a foul. Good call by the officials. Now, was there enough time? And here's why I say that. Because will she go to the line with no time on the clock and shoot them by herself, kind of like a technical foul? Or will there be able to be players on the free throw line, which is always more comfortable for a free throw shooter? And Stacia Carey is a 64% free throw shooter on the season. And this will be her first trip to the free throw line, I believe, Jen, in the game.
She actually did have the one on the 3-point play.
Okay.
She had the one where she made the 3-point play, so she's 1 of 1 today.
The officials are checking the clock. And it's not necessarily when the official raises their arm or blows the whistle, it's when they see it, because there is a short delay between seeing the foul and raising your hand and blowing the whistle.
So we're looking for when the officials raise their hand here then?
Right, that's what I'm looking for. That's how I would determine how much time. Right there you see Wesley Dean on the baseline, and you see Denise Brooks here, and this is Wesley, and they both have their hands up for a foul.
Maybe with 1/10 of a second remaining.
Right, not much.
Take another look this time. With the clock, you can see there, top of the screen.
Yeah, she's, I'm saying 0.1 or less. They're going to say 0.2. See, that's why you've got a veteran officiating crew on here with Denise Brooks.
No, what Susie McConnell-Serio does not have is a veteran on the floor. Stacia Carey, just a sophomore, did start last year, so grew up a lot as a freshman, and now she steps to the free throw line with her team down 2. She'll have 2 free throws.
Neither team with any timeouts. So here's the game, basically.
Carey hits the first.
You cannot hear a sound in this building when she's at the line.
Carey's second shot is good! 0.2 of a second on the clock. Not enough for anything. Overtime, here we come. Wow, ice in the veins of Stacia Carey right there to knock those 2 down.
What an incredible job to step to the line. You talk about clutch and pressure. Oh, yeah, I know how to do this. And Coach Moore says, okay, we got 5 more.
Wow, what a finish to regulation. We've got more basketball to play. We are all tied up at 55 here in Pittsburgh. Tightly contested game in Pittsburgh. So tight, we need some more time to play some basketball. Pittsburgh and NC State all tied at 55. It was a 6-point lead for NC State at the half, and Pittsburgh just clawed back, and 2 free throws by Stacia Carey with 0.2 of a second left sent us into overtime. And for the Wolfpack, take a look at their season so far. Pretty well balanced with 3 players averaging 11 points per game. They do knock down some threes, and they make their free throws. Free throws obviously will be an important storyline in this game for both teams. For the Panthers, they are young, but they've been consistent. Same starting 5 all season long, 5 averaging 7+ points per game. Callista Walters, a freshman, their leading scorer, and they block a lot of shots. So Susie McConnell-Serio wanting to see this young team improve, grow up. You can't not grow up when you go through an experience like this.
Well, this is terrific. I mean, this is going to give you an extra 5, and it's been a very well-played, executed second half. What you have to be concerned about if you're Pittsburgh, though, is that Stacia Carey has 4 fouls, Bug has 3. NC State's Chelsea Nelson has already fouled out of the basketball game. But clutch free throws by Stacia Carey. With 0.2 on the clock, she hits 2 free throws to tie the game and send it into overtime.
And just as a reminder that these teams, the fouls stay. They do not reset like they do in each quarter in regulation. So that means NC State still in the bonus as Spencer drives to the basket, and it's good.
Yeah, it's all about the guards for NC State and their ability to attack all game off the bounce, particularly in the middle of the floor. And it's the post play for Pittsburgh.
Ashley Williams will be whistled for the foul.
And that's just the 4th team foul for NC State. Watch Spencer turn the corner right here. Quick with a little floater off the glass. Beautiful.
Leader and the captain for this NC State team. You just kind of see her say, all right, I'm going to take care of this possession, ladies. She's going to take care of this one, too. Spencer, the first 4 points of overtime go to the Wolfpack.
Oh, and NC State on the road with guard play like Spencer and Wilson. It is such an asset to have. Even though juniors, they've had big-time playing experience, playing in big-time games in conference play on the road.
Reminder to stick around. Georgia Tech, Florida State coming up after this game. Bug for 3!
And she has become a confident shooter outside the arc. Bug only hit 10 threes last year. That is her first triple of the game and her 14th on the season.
The 3-ball has not this season been a big part of Pittsburgh's game, but it has made a difference in this one down the stretch. Mathurin was looking for Schuhmacher. Bug and Jop get possession. Jop to the basket!
Exciting in the open floor is Jop. Athletic and long, great finish with contact.
What a basketball game. 1-point lead for Pittsburgh now. Their first lead since the scoreboard read 18-17 in the second quarter.
This is a good set by NC State. We haven't seen them go 5 out, but it's because of the guard playmaking ability and their ability to attack the inside.
Wilson, 2 on the shot clock, taken away by the Panthers. Pittsburgh now playing with the lead, albeit just 1 point.
NC State staying in that zone. They have mixed it up between man and zone.
Schuhmacher disrupted that pass into Carey.
I'm gonna throw the bounce pass.
Maya Spencer and the NC State Wolfpack, 2-1 in the ACC. Spencer drives to the basket, has her shot blocked by Carlee.
I like that play because Westmore knows that Carrie's going to have to switch on this. She's got 4. So he is thinking, I'm not attacking the primary defender on this set. I'm attacking the secondary.
7 blocks in the game for the Panthers, who lead the ACC. 2 on the shot clock. Spencer just noticed it. And how about that rebound by Mathurin? Wilson fouled on her way to the basket by Bug.
Pitt doing a great job moving the ball. Bug, a confident three-point shooter, knocks down the triple. And then look at Jop in transition. Gives them a lead. It's been a while since they've had one.
Wilson with a chance to take it back, but misses her first free throw.
I mean, if you're NC State, you've had the 2 people on the free throw line that you want, and Wilson at 85 and Spencer at 75.
Now Wilson, an 82% career free throw shooter. That's 5th among active ACC players. Tie game.
NC State showing first time we've seen full court pressure off a made free throw.
Carlee stops and is fouled.
Well, that element of surprise there with that full court pressure, which is the first time we've seen it, did not catch Pitt off guard. And that is something that they worked on today in shoot around. They broke down the situations of the game and what they expected. This has got to feel easy right now for Carlee after the last 2 free throws she made.
And she makes that one as well. Carlee, a perfect 4 of 4 from the free throw line today. Missed on that attempt. So the lead is 1 for the Panthers. Crowd starting to get loud again. Bug got her hand on the ball and then commits the foul, and that is going to be her 5th. We were keeping an eye on the foul on the post players for the Panthers. And meanwhile, Bug, now how big is this, Debbie?
Well, it's your starting point guard. It's your point guard on the floor with the most experience. I mean, she was making a hustle play. It was a gamble. She almost got it. And what the problem is do you stay in the man-to-man defensively if you're Pitt? It's all we've seen out of them all game. Because Cassidy Walsh is going to have to guard one of NC State's perimeter players.
It was the Pitt point guard in this game last year who took it over, Brianna Kiesel, all ACC senior, who went off 22 of Pitt's final 27 points as the Panthers came back from a 10-point second half deficit to beat the Wolfpack.
NC State has missed some critical free throws down the stretch. All 3 of their guards have missed 1. Spencer, Wilson, and now Williams.
As a team, the Wolfpack shooting 69% from the free throw line for the season. We'll be getting it down to Tallahassee just as soon as possible once we finish things up here.
Well, NC State really stuffing that high-low game.
Ten on the shot clock for Jop, who is fouled.
Now, Maya Spencer knows better than to commit that foul right there. That's a foul.
Second foul on Spencer.
You know what's interesting is I'm watching the coaches, and Wes Moore is looking at what Susie McConoserio is calling, and Susie's looking at what Wes is calling, and they're countering off of each other because the game has slowed down so much.
Series tied between these two teams. They're each 2-2. Drops one free throw.
That's
Gave the Panthers a lead.
That's the matchup I like right there. I'd like to get Dominique Wilson with Fred Potvin, but guarding her right here. This is the one.
Wilson has it, drives to the basket. Carey had to come and help and commits the foul. Now she'll head to the bench.
NC State has had success on that all game. They have dominated the middle of the floor with their dribble penetration. And this is Carey's 5th. She had to switch. They've been switching on that most of the game. But if you're a Fred Potvin, you cannot run right into that screen. You've got to get off that screen. And Wilson has known that's the way they're guarding, and she took advantage of it. Smart play. Both coaches have one timeout left. They had none at the end of regulation, but you get one in overtime.
14 points in the game for Wilson, right at her average. Again, NC State.
You got time for the last shot right here. Coach McConoserio wants timeout. See, that's where I like where you don't advance the ball there, because you give your team a chance to play in transition. And you had nothing, so now you call the timeout. So you don't always have to call the timeout to advance the ball. I like the way Coach McConoserio is thinking about the skill set of her team.
So Susie McConoserio and the Pitt Panthers will talk things over, catch their breath. We'll do the same. We'll be right back to Pittsburgh. Tie ball game in overtime here in Pittsburgh. The Panthers had to really fight back hard here to force overtime. This was the end of regulation. Stacia Carey fouled and then has to hit both free throws to get it to overtime. She does with 0.2 of a second on the clock. That's how we got to overtime. And it's been tightly contested ever since then.
Well, Pitt built their lead by knocking down a 3 by Bug, and then Jop in transition scoring. And NC State has battled back, so they've got one shot here. Look for the offensive rebound once again. Score tied. You don't want to take the shot too early. And this is where you miss Bug, who's fouled out of the game, your starting point guard.
Yep, Bug on the bench. Cassidy Walsh, the freshman, in at the point. She'll bide her time, looking at her head coach who's saying, let's go. Jop, 2 seconds, takes the shot. Was there a foul? Not this time. Brenna Wise grabbed the rebound, but we are gonna need another overtime to figure this one out. Time number 2 about to get underway from the Peterson Event Center in Pittsburgh. Here's how we got here. Look at the game to this point. Free throws certainly in favor of the Wolfpack. As our points in the paint, although that was really where the Panthers did a lot of their damage as they got back into this game in regulation.
So for Pitt, here's where their disadvantage is. Their point guard and their top post player have fouled out. So now you've got to rely on a lot of young players on the floor. And NC State certainly has an advantage here with the backcourt experience on the road. There's Bug, who fouled out at the end of, towards the end of the first overtime.
Maya Spencer will start things off for overtime number 2 in NC State. Dominique Wilson has really come on strong. Now Cassidy Walsh, the 5'7" freshman out of Seton LaSalle High School. Another pretty good point guard out of Seton LaSalle High School on the floor here. And Susie McConoserio is where she made her high school career.
You just wonder where your consistent scoring will come from here without Carey on the floor.
Wise has been a big scoring threat in conference play, but offensive foul.
You don't have Bug, you don't have Carey. The core of your game and your season has been your sophomores. You got to lock down right here and get some stops defensively.
And for Pitt, 78.5% of their points on the season have come from their starters, so they don't get an awful lot from their bench.
You can see a certain level of maturity out of NC State, the way they're just methodically going about their offense. Good stop right there by Pitt.
8th block of the game, and it was a big one. Brenna Wise getting a hand in there and what looked like a sure bucket for Schuhmacher. Foul away from the ball against NC State. Looks like it may be against Maya Spencer.
I like to call it dial-it-up scoring, when you can be over there on the sideline and just call out whatever set you want. Watch the nice pick and roll, and then the help from the weak side by Wise. Part of the reason why Pitt is the 6th in the nation in block shots is their ability to rotate from the weak side and help as a secondary defender blocking shots.
Job 2 for 2. And it's a 2-point lead for the Panthers.
Jop has been on Wilson today. Now she's on Spencer.
Spencer's drive is good.
Walters, the leading scorer for Pitt, who's a freshman, number 32, has really been quiet today.
Wise with the shot fake, drives with her left hand, offensive foul. She's gotten whistled for that a couple of times in this game. That's her 3rd.
This clearly is a learning experience and a great piece of film to watch. There's no question, nowhere to go. And, you know, that's part of the competitiveness that we were talking about Brenna Wise. You know, it's her greatest strength, and it could be one of her weaknesses. She wants to win. She's trying to do everything she can to help her team, and she just made a mistake.
All 3 of her fouls have been offensive fouls in this game. Spencer has her shot blocked by Walters.
Good rotation again. See, it's not the primary defender, it's the secondary defender that blocks shots for Pitt.
Job curling through the lane was calling for it, but Pitt will continue to look for other options. 5 on the shot clock. Wise has it in her hands, pulls back this time, takes the shot too strong as Job was on the floor. Spencer may have hit her head on the floor.
You see, here's the thing you have now with Wise. So she's charged and committed 2 offensive fouls in this overtime. And there was no way she was driving to the basket on that last play. She was definitely going to settle for the jump shot. And that's where you're going to learn through experience and through game reps that you had a lane, you needed to take it.
Wise was setting the screen that time, didn't expect the ball from Potvin. Offensive foul on the screen that time from Job.
That's 3 offensive fouls in this overtime period by Pitt.
And you feel like they've been legitimate?
Well, the score, and the score is tied. You know, so NC State has not been able to capitalize on their possessions, their extra possessions based off their defense. Pitt's had 2 blocks on the other end of the floor.
Those 2 things have kind of neutralized one another as Spencer tries to drive again. The blocks and the offensive fouls for Pittsburgh.
You start to think that fatigue is playing a factor here, but I don't see it out of either team. You just got to, Susie McConnell-Sari, just slow it down a little bit, take some time off the clock here with the score tied with the ball.
Wise pulls it back out, shot clock winding down again. Now Wall sees it. Wise with the shot from 3, rebounded Job, put back is short. And the Wolfpack have it. Now Schuhmacher is in some trouble. Timeout NC State.
Unfortunately for Jop, she didn't realize that she had a smaller defender on her and that she could have easily scored over the top, and she rushed it a little bit. It's a good look by Wise. She's hit a 3 earlier in the game, just a little short. Look at Jop. She had time and space.
Schuhmacher hits the first free throw. She was on the line quite a bit in the first half.
She had 12 first half points for NC State.
And she now has returned the lead to the Wolfpack. 2-point lead for NC State.
They're trying to get Jop on a post up. Good timeout. Coach McConnell-Serio didn't see what she liked. She's going to burn her final timeout. Oh, excuse me, she has one more because oh no, that is her last timeout. The board was slower than I was on that. NC State has 2. Each overtime period, you get another timeout.
NC State with a 2-point lead. We're going to take a short break and then come back to finish things up in Pittsburgh. We've got a 2-point game in double overtime here in Pittsburgh. Georgia Tech, Florida State coming up after this one. They're underway in Tallahassee. The 19th ranked Seminoles leading 16-12 in the first. Get you there just as soon as we can, but can't apologize for this.
No, love conference play. This is when you find out where your team is. Both teams will get exposed for what the other coach can find. As we take a look at the standings today, updated, Notre Dame and Louisville both winners today. North Carolina suffers their first loss. Duke goes to 1-2. Syracuse got a W today. So a lot of stuff happened in the conference play. It's really fun to watch. Keep an eye on for the fans.
Oh, Jop just loses it and then has to dive on the floor to get it back, which she does. Possession arrow in favor of the Panthers.
And Westmore had 2 timeouts, and he tried to use his timeout. His possession arrow is in favor of Pittsburgh.
Nine on the shot clock for Pittsburgh here.
And Gordon on the floor in place of Walsh.
Gordon picks up her dribble. She's stuck, has to take the shot, not close. No rim on that. No shot clock violation as Wise ties the game. Brenna Wise with a double-double in the game now. Points and rebounds also. 3 seconds, 2. As Wilson takes the shot at the buzzer. You ready for some more?
I'm ready. I like the fact that Westmore did not call timeout there, that he didn't give Pitt a chance to change their defense. Let's take a look at whether there was a shot clock violation. That was the discussion.
It didn't look like that. It did reset.
It did hit the front of the rim and it reset. It was not a shot clock violation. And that's what Coach Moore was asking for. And then there's no timeout, and I thought Maya Spencer got a pretty decent look right here. No, or excuse me, Dominique Wilson, but
I mean, that's probably whose hands they want to have the ball in, right?
Good defense by Potvin.
Woo! 2 overtimes, not enough. Hang with us. Overtime number 3 coming up.
We are getting ready to start the 3rd overtime here in Pittsburgh. And you're going to take a look at the last shot here at the end of the 2nd overtime. The ball goes past the rim there, but you're going to see the NC State thought that she did not get the ball out of her hands, that there would have been a shot clock violation. But the ball hits the rim on the first offensive rebound. The second offensive rebound is Brenna Wise, who makes up for a couple of offensive fouls that she committed in that overtime and gets the basket to tie it to send us to the 3rd OT.
Wise with the tying basket, double-double, 11 and 15, 4 blocks in the game.
Now NC State has 3 timeouts and Pittsburgh has 1.
Spencer has had some success when she tries to get to the basket. Westmore telling her, let's go. She'll pull up for the shot this time. Walters comes away with the rebound.
Pitt has gotten some critical stops defensively. The NC State guards have all of a sudden become short with their shots. and have played a lot of minutes. I mean, Dominique Wilson's coming off a career-high 25. She played all 40 minutes in the last game against Georgia Tech, and she's going a good haul of the way today.
Jop driving to the basket. That's going to go against NC State and Mathurin. It's her third.
Jennifer Mathurin right here rotates off the dribble penetration. Good call. The officials, the block charge is hard, and they've been pretty good today.
Yassine Jop, sophomore forward from Dakar, Senegal. 0 for 2 on that trip to the line.
So Spencer and Maturin have 3 fouls. I like that 1-4 low. Go to it again. This time you got Wilson with Potvin guarding her. This time it's a bucket.
Dominique Wilson with 16 points in the game for the Wolfpack.
Wes Moore is just calling up the matchups that he likes right now.
Gordon kicks it out to Walters. She's good. 12 in the game for Callista Walters.
See, now you got that's right. You got to get Wilson in that screening action because Potvin is on her and not Jop.
Wilson hit the last basket for NC State, not this one, and Mathurin commits the foul. That's her 4th.
Watch Jennifer Maturin right here. She's going to come and set the screen. Or this is the 1-4 low, I'm sorry. She's going to get to...
Jop hit the first free throw that time. Misses the second. And Wilson out of bounds on the sideline.
And Wilson is saying Pitt bumped her out of bounds. No, I think she stepped on the line. Okay, so here we go. I mean, NC State now got to get a stop. Remember, Carey and Bug have been out for most of the overtime periods with 5 fouls. They're gone.
And once again, Gordon is forced into taking a shot, or she perhaps felt forced and picked up her dribble and decided to launch one.
NC State's got to get in rhythm right here. We get a good ball reversal. They get an on-ball screen. Got to have the right people taking shots.
Mathurin.
That's not the right person.
Misses everything. The right person is Wilson, right?
Well, Spencer and Wilson have gotten you to this point. They have made every big shot and every big play.
Gordon, the redshirt junior from South Charleston, West Virginia. In at the point, Potvin for 3.
Boy, they run a nice flare screen for Potvin. She's got to be ready to catch and shoot.
5 on the shot clock. Gordon tries to pass it, winds up in the hands of the Wolfpack. Mathurin, block or foul? Foul against Brenna Wise. That's her 4th.
I don't know about this one. I don't know. I don't think so.
Wise has 4 blocks in the game.
You know, fatigue is not just about the players, too. It's tough for the officials to call this many minutes trying to get up and down the floor.
Mathurin hits her 2nd free throw, ties us up again.
NC State has really defended the last couple of possessions well and taken Pitt late into the shot clock.
Walters.
You know, good. I like the set though, and I like them trying to go a little bit earlier in their set than waiting.
Bug and Carey have been out since the first overtime period. Wilson driving, rebound to Mathurin. Think Wise got a piece of that one. Gordon will take it herself. Jop skies for the rebound. I tell you what, the Panthers have hit the boards in this game.
I mean, watch this right here. Gordon tries to Euro step around Williams. There's a lot of contact there, and then crashing the glass. Susie McConnell-Serio is on her third point guard.
Panthers have out-rebounded the Wolfpack 61-47 in this game. And they now lead it by 2.
Yeah, Westmore had 3 timeouts. He just burned one of his 3. Now he's got 2 remaining. It's a good timeout.
It's a 2-point game. Will somebody figure out a way to finish on top? We'll find out. We'll be back in just a second. NC State with a quick timeout. Debbie, the Wolfpack trailing the Panthers by 2. A lot of storylines in this game. It's been very interesting coming down the stretch. It's been within 4 since I think about the last 18, 19 minutes as you get a look at the Florida State-Georgia Tech score. We'll be sending you there after this one, if it ever ends. I'm not sure at this point.
It's been great. You know, you're gonna look at this in 3 overtimes. It was low scoring, but it was a very efficient possession for possession game, and that's the way the overtimes have been. It's punch, counter punch by these coaches.
Carlee Schuhmacher inbounds the ball for NC State. She was really a big factor in the first half for the Wolfpack. Seems like a long time ago now. Wilson, big 3.
A great screening on the baseline. Poppin got caught on the first screen and couldn't recover off the second.
Jop loses the ball. Spencer has it, has Mathurin with her. It's like Jop got a piece of it, but it winds up in the hands of Williams.
NC State with a 1-point lead here. You got to get a stop if you're Pitt. You've got to get a stop here. You do not want to foul. You're going to their 1-4 low set again. See, now Wise has gone on an island right here.
Spencer, what a big shot.
What a great timeout by Westmore.
It's like Susie McConnell-Serio now taking a timeout as her team trails by 3. Maya Spencer has 18. Dominique Wilson has 21 in the game to lead NC State.
Watch this right here. Wilson's going to come off a screen here and then another screen here, and she's going to come all the way out to the 3-point line and knock it down. Great execution by the Wolfpack. That's 1, that's 2, and Potvin gets picked off on twice. 2 screens. And then watch this. Oh, Wise, you're on an island. And it's not a holiday, I can tell you that right now. What a great play by Spencer. They go 1-4 low. It's a set that Westmore has gone to late in the game. I don't know how many more sets he has over there, but it's been very productive when he's been able to call out and dial it up the way he wants it and the matchups that he wants.
And Brenna Wise playing with 4 fouls, having to defend Maya Spencer on that last attempt. Pittsburgh trailing by 3. Potvin, way short, and that's a foul against Jop. That's her 4th.
Well, it's the right play and a good execution. You know, Potvin had a good chance to get a good look. Just got to get your feet underneath you, and her balance was off.
Yep, you could see her feet. Not quite lined up, and that's what she's known for. She's hit some big 3s, 3 of them in this game.
Well, NC State has contested everything late. They've done a good job defensively as well. I mean, you got to look at what Susie McConnell-Serra is able to do with this group. She's been able to get into 3 overtimes with NC State, with 2 starters out with foul trouble, and a lot of players playing some critical quality minutes late.
20 in the game now for Spencer. As the lead grows for NC State, Gordon will cut into it with that drive. First points of the game for Brittany Gordon.
Yeah, you got to go for the steal and then foul.
3-point lead for the Wolfpack, 10.8 on the clock.
And Wes Moore is saying to Ashley Williams, you can't let her go rim to rim off the bounce for a layup. You don't want to foul her, but you got to make her change direction, change her speed.
Spencer knocks it down. Hits them both. Gordon once again trying to drive. Now kicks it out to Wise. Brenna Wise for 3 is good. 2.7 on the clock. Potvin fouls with 1.7 showing.
NC State has done a good job getting the ball in quickly and getting it into the right hands. This is a great job. Last time Gordon got all the way to the rim and scored a layup. This time she drives and flattens out the defense, and the trail 3 by Wise.
Ashley Williams, the junior guard, former walk-on.
See, this is where Pitt has no timeouts remaining. And you're going to have to throw the ball. And I'm guessing that Wise can throw the ball the length of the floor. NC State doesn't want to foul, but Pitt needs a 3.
Williams misses it.
Oh, wow. Oh, they needed a 2. You missed 2 free throws.
Gosh, and the door opened just a crack there for Pittsburgh, but in the end, my goodness, NC State survives to go to 3-1 in the ACC.
I mean, what a great game. The start of conference play in the second week. Fantastic by both teams to get to 3 overtimes. NC State with their great guard play. Their duo of Wilson and Spencer finished off the game for the Wolfpack.
21 points for Wilson, 22 points for Spencer. NC State finding a way to hang on and get it done. Our final score in 3 overtimes, 78-76 in favor of the Wolfpack. But now we want to get you down to Tallahassee. Tom Wormy, LaChina Robinson standing by, and we'll send it now to Tom.